We're at Highbury. Live Barclaycard Premiership football this evening features Arsenal and Newcastle United. We're interactive. Push the red button on the remote control. Follow the instructions. That's where you'll find those mini screens. Fan zone amongst the choices, of course. And player cam. And first up tonight, under the spotlight of player cam, the Newcastle United skipper, Alan Shearer. Commentators Andy Gray and Martin Tyler.
The referee is Mike Riley. I'm sure Arsenal delighted to be back in action and to move on from the events in Manchester, although obviously with the FA heavily involved we haven't heard the last of that. Sylvain Wiltord, who watched it all from the substitutes bench, starts what is his 100th Premiership game. Plenty of landmarks around tonight. The Newcastle appearance for Andy O'Brien, the 200th for Aaron Hughes, and for Jermaine Jenas, the 50th Premiership game.
Well, not a lot of good came out of the Inter Milan game when you and I were last year, Martin, but what they did do that night, they started very quickly. The best spell in the match, Arsenal's I'm talking about, was the 15 minutes, the first 15 minutes of the match. And I think Arsene Wenger would be looking for something the same. A quick breakthrough, set all nerves. They struggled to score goals in free play. Arsenal 3 games now without any, including that Inter Milan one.
Parlour. Berger made a run. We talked, Andy, about how Arsenal might be just a little bit vulnerable defensively on that left-hand side because Freddie does make the runs from that side. And of course it's Kieran Dyer, wide right for Newcastle tonight, where he played very well in that position against the Dutch club NAC Breda. But it's Cole with a reply of his own. If he keeps doing that, it's Dyer who'll have to do the worrying.
Oh, what a save. I tell you, that's 1-0. Shea Given doesn't get that.
Vieira. Jenas getting a challenge in. Touch from O'Brien and Hughes.
Brilliant break though, wasn't it, man? That left-hand side's the one, you know, time and time again. It's such an area where they really look, but what a stretch this is. I thought it's past them. You watch Sylvain Wiltord, Martin, coming in for the bottom of the screen here. Fabulous movement at the top end, but he gets himself in there. How much of a pull around there? Was there a little tug? Not really. But I tell you what, it's 1-0 if he doesn't get his hand to that, Shea Given.
But now it's the defensive side of Cole's game.
Good options here. They've got the aerial targets if they want them. Bramble, O'Brien, Shearer, Jenas all in there. And of course Robert, if he fancies it from that side, won't be shy in taking it on.
No, he scored a goal from this sort of position to beat Liverpool New Year's Day, I think it was, up at St James's Park. Puts it into an area for one of his teammates there, with obviously Shearer a main focal point of the attack.
Great ball, great header.
Shearer waits again. And 249 goals in the top division. Eased away by Henry. Arsenal dropped everyone back. There's a slip, but it's rained a little bit in North London in the hour or so leading up to kick-off.
To be fair, they've soaked the pitch as well, Mark. Sprinklers were on for a long time here at Highbury. Just the most magnificent surface. Time and time again we come here to say that, but it's true.
Bowie in the engine room alongside Jermaine Jenas.
We talked about not too many changes from Wednesday night, but when you look at the average age of the side, there's only 2 players over 26 in Bobby Robson's outfield. Laurent Robert now and Shearer, all the rest are under it. So, you know, that's why it's probably no problem, and I'm saying same again. We are only still in September.
He did pick earlier in the week Jonathan Woodgate to play tonight. He was left out of the European game deliberately, and then after a bit of training felt more pain in this troublesome groin area that's really taken that decision away from the manager, and the medical men have said no, he needs surgery, and that will happen, and he'll be out for 6 or 7 weeks.
And that's what they've got to do, part of the job. Jermaine Genius there showing part of being a central midfield player. Not all about going that forward, realising you have a responsibility, and that's going to be the key element tonight for that midfield quartet with Bobby Robson's.
We had it for Bowyer. Shearer. Bowyer's made a sort of run that we know so well for his Leeds days. His career has not quite got back to those levels through his time at West Ham and his short game experience so far with Newcastle. Being banned from the European setup doesn't help. That's rather self-inflicted. Lauren. Vieira. Quickly into the feet of Wiltor. Making it past Titus Bramble. Ljungberg. Henry. Still lurking outside the penalty area rather than making a darting run into it. Parler. And Wiltor lets it run. Comes out to Gilberto. Ljungberg trying to flick it on for Sylvain Wiltor, and Bernard actually gets it out off Parler.
Tried to control it, didn't he, Ray Parler?
Deflected away from Genius, and it was Henry who got there. Vieira making a dart from midfield. Henry with a first-time shot. Flag has gone up as Vieira got rather stuck in there.
Yeah, Olivier Bernard's happy. It was a poor ball across front of his back four. No real direction in it. Well, he'll be happy that he can concentrate on the thing he enjoys most, and that's watching his team play football.
He's certainly doing that with great focus.
I think it's a big 20 minutes to begin with this match, Mark. I think the longer that Newcastle United can keep it level or better as far as they're concerned, then a little bit of frustration tends to creep in. I think for Arsenal, an early goal would be a massive lift for them.
There's no doubt that Newcastle come here in better spirits. They might be a bit tired physically from the game on Wednesday, but they really buoyed, not just by the margin of victory, but the way they played the game. It was old-style Newcastle. Actually, Sir Bobby Robson said, go and treat Breda as if you were playing Barcelona. Those wise words, and it was up-tempo. Some of the goals, particularly from Bellamy, who hadn't scored since March and then tallied 2 in the UEFA Cup on Wednesday night. He hasn't had much of a touch of the ball so far in this game. There's Parler. Finding himself wide left, where he's backed up by Cole. He in turn by Vieira. He's operating as he did in Manchester, left of Gilberto. Wiltor has made a bit of space against Bernard. Henry came across very nearly forced it in at the near post. It's a bit late by Bowyer. He's quick to apologise. He's had 1 or 2 flash points here. Of course, he was red carded as a Leeds player when they won at Highbury, although they finished with 9 men. And then he was involved on the receiving end with Dennis Bergkamp. Bergkamp was fined when Bowyer was caught in the face when he was a visitor with West Ham more recently. Lauren takes, queuing up to get it away. Newcastle, they've got the right man for the run here. It's Kieran Dyer. He's got plenty of support too. Riley sees nothing wrong with the challenge that saw Bowyer on the ground.
Might have been a little bit lucky to get away with that, Ray Parler. That was a chance though for Newcastle on the break.
And now maybe for Arsenal, as Newcastle had committed forward. Lauren. Well, Bear does well. He's sometimes criticised for lack of defensive application, but he was in the right place, winning the ball back for Newcastle then.
I'll have to say the game's wide open. You don't often see a Premiership game as open as this, Martin, early on. So that's just one of the things that about Arsenal. That was a great position Ashley Cole's got. Now, any other side in the country, so he would have been flashing that across the 6-yard box and somebody would have been going in on the end of it. But he's no option to do that. It was only, I think, Sylvain Wiltord, and he stood at the 18-yard line. But they're threatened, Arsenal. They're looking dangerous.
That position that we've seen Alan Shearer use so effectively defensively for Newcastle and indeed for England. It's a nice header for an attacker to make. He hasn't got any opponent to deal with. If the ball's on the short side, just to butt it away and job done. No opponent really making a run across his eye line there.
He's raining quite heavily now. Really will slick up the surface. I always say that. I always think that this is the great conditions for a front man. Defenders tend to slip, make mistakes, and it's at a night like tonight you'd be saying to your front man, hey, listen, just be prepared for anything. Be on the alert every time the ball goes near the penalty area.
Parler. It's also great for the players, of course, who've been dealing with some really searing temperatures meteorologically. And if it's been a bit cooler in that respect, it's been red hot emotionally, certainly for Arsenal.
Where does this rain come from, son?
I think it's a taste of what is to come as we move into autumn. It's started to be very heavy when it does rain in England in the last 3 or 4 years. I remember a few games even here where we've wondered about whether the match would go ahead.
Good to play in, though, I have to say.
There'll be a lot of players up and down the country who have been playing on rock-hard pitches at every level of the game. Will be delighted to see this and maybe get some softer landings in their matches tomorrow. Genus. Dyer. Tennis Bellamy. Vieira.
Great tackle.
Titus Bramble on Patrick Vieira. It's notable Vieira already is trying to get up with the front players. His average for Arsenal, nothing like Henry's.
A little unlucky. I think Riley didn't realise the advantage was there for Henry to be attacking the back four.
Patrick Vieira's 1 goal every 14 games for Arsenal from midfield. Did score a cracker against Newcastle a few years ago from 30-35 yards. And Parler hasn't scored a league goal since January 2001. So I do rather rely on the likes of Ljungberg, who is playing tonight, and Pires, who's not, to get their goals from midfield.
It's going to be a right good tussle on that far side. Ashley Cole, Kieran Dyer, if they get enough of the ball between them.
To impress tonight, and Newcastle's next match before the England team is picked in Turkey. They shouldn't have been involved in that one. And Bramble nestled into a problem by Henry in the first place. 4 forward for Arsenal here. It may be from Henry, but it isn't really effective, so he goes his own way, and then work's given. The shot really delivered on the stretch, but he got plenty of power into it, and the ball has stayed in play. And it's collected by Ljungberg. It's Henry again.
Brilliant attempt from Henry, but why on earth does Freddie Ljungberg not cross the ball when he's got 3 players waiting on it?
Bellamy. Almost through for Robert. Dealt with by Lauren.
Now, what a strike. They've been short of goals for free play, but this man's certainly capable of doing this. A little deflection makes it a little difficult for the goalkeeper. It's a slippy ball. No surprise to see him just push it firmly away.
Wiltor is behind Bernard. Driven away by Andy O'Brien. Collected by Keogh.
Really good start from Arsenal, Martin. Bright. Good tempo. Really testing Newcastle at times. Newcastle relying on the break. And as I said, I think it's important for Newcastle not to concede an early goal. I don't think Sir Bobby Robson will be too concerned if they haven't produced an awful lot in the attacking third.
By the player cam, the Arsenal striker who's scored in all the home games in the Premiership so far this season, all 3 of them.
I've just been watching Alan Shearer. You talk about experience and using your head. Well, first couple of balls, he went on Martin Keown, who's got huge respect. We know that. We read the papers today. And Martin will compete in the uncontest, but then he just drifted over to Kolo Touré. And he won the first 2 that came up quite comfortably. And I think that we'll find that when Shea Gibbons kicking it long, that Alan Shearer will just drift onto Touré and just say, OK, I'm more happy winning it against you than I would be Keown. Not a bad judge.
Yes, I read that article as well. It's very complimentary to Martin Keown in his sense of competition. We know about the combustible streak. We actually identified it long before it happened last Sunday. But he won't change now. The Arsenal centre-back at the age of 37. He's one old dog you can't teach that new trick to. Touré. Cole. Remember, Newcastle haven't won in the Premiership this season, but away from home they haven't lost, and they did win their away game in the Champions League qualifier. It was a false dawn, as it turned out. And they've drawn 2-2 at Leeds and 2-2 at Everton, with Alan Shearer very much to the fore in those scorelines. And they're holding Arsenal still very much in the early stages at Highbury.
I just can't see this being 0-0. I mean, I could last weekend at Old Trafford. I could see 0-0 right before the game started. It's going to be tight, tense. But we just can't see that at the moment in this game, the way it's all set up.
Ljungberg finding Henry. Pass just forced him wide. And the touch away from Wiltor, but Parler's there, and Wiltor sweeps at it. Went nowhere near the goal this night from Ljungberg. And it's stopped by Jermaine Jenas.
What a ball it almost was from Henry, and Titus Bramble's a lucky boy. And really poor clearance from him. Hanging on a bit, Newcastle defensively. Still ragged.
Laura. There's a miscue, and it's led to a goal by Henry. It was Bramble's mistake this time, and there's no reprieve. Henry scores at Highbury again, and Arsenal lead Newcastle 1-0. It was very much on the cards.
Well, at last a cross. And what a good ball it is. But Titus Bramble's been having a real shaky 17 minutes, Martin. But this is what I think they've got to add to their game. And if they do, they might just well be the complete package. It's a lovely ball in, but it's a wild thrash at this. Put your foot on it. Take a bit of time, a bit of composure. He had absolutely none. And after he's made a hash of it like that, then I have to say Henry is not going to miss it. Simple little tap in. The goal's been coming. Arsenal have the early breakthrough they really were looking for.
Yes, their pressure was almost as relentless over the last 10 minutes as the rain. A bit of attention needed for one of the Arsenal players. It's Ashley Cole, the right knee. guess it's a little bit of surprise, Andy, that Henry was there where the ball got to, because he so often just ducks out for balls on the edge of the area when the crosses come in.
I mean, you know my theory about Arsenal. I think they're a fantastic football team, Martin, but to do the very ultimate, to win the, probably the Champions League or things like that, then I think they need to see them score more goals like they did. I didn't see one of those type of crosses going against Inter Milan. But it was a lovely ball in, plenty of players in the box, and Arsenal get the breakthrough. Had Lauren come back away, maybe not.
They're on the move again with Henry. Probably delayed the pass a little bit. There was an option on to the right to Ljungberg, but it needed to be a bit earlier. Henry was always looking left to Wiltor. Seeing anything through this downpour can't be very easy. Kick by Lehmann. And across Ashley Cole, and was collected by Dyer. Well, you're right, it's not going to be 0-0.
And you just couldn't see it, could you?
Bernard.
I still don't think it would win the line. There you go.
Actually, it shouldn't have been last season when Newcastle were beaten here 1-0. And that rather flattered the visitors. Arsenal had plenty of chances that day, just the one that was taken by Wiltor. And of course, if you go back the year before that, Robert was very much involved in the game that...
That's not like Shearer, is it?
Turned his back.
Goodness me. He ain't got 249 league goals doing that.
Especially with a slippery ball. Yeah.
A night like tonight, it's not like them.
Well, that game 2 years ago was the last time that Arsenal scored first in the Premiership and lost. It wasn't quite 2 years ago, it was in December of that season. Newcastle won 3-1, really turned it around in the second half. Robert scored, was brought down for a penalty, Shearer scored. That's the blueprint for Newcastle here, but it won't be easy to etch it out again. Wiltor. I think O'Brien got a little bit of silver on Wiltor. Mike Riley showing a bit of sympathy.
I think he got a lot of the ball, didn't he?
But what did he get first, I guess, is the referee's decision. He's had some eventful games here, Mike Riley, as well. 6 red cards in his last 4 visits. Split evenly between Arsenal and the visitors. We're almost halfway through the first half. There's another Arsenal player who's had some attention off the pitch. It's Vieira this time. Called a couple of minutes earlier. Newcastle's ball.
Well, that's what we need, more of that. The ball, I mean, they haven't had it enough and they haven't used it well enough. They do look shaky at the back. I think the man on the ball, I think this is a young lad, Titus Bramble, who's still learning his trade, very much so, Mark, for me. He tends to make too many mistakes, too many errors. But he's young. And he's got a man and his manager who knows, well, everything there is to know about the game.
Arrived here fresh from his first goal for Newcastle in that 5-0 win, but his job is to stop the opposition from scoring, and at a moment he'll look back on with great pride here tonight. It was a gift wrap, really, for Thierry Henry.
It was, Mark. I mean, the ball just played in. It's a lovely ball. You don't need to be 6 foot to play good balls in and get goals from them. You can do that. He did his best to miss it, Thierry, didn't he? Does it strike the post and just go in? But you can see there's nothing there. They get caught. They're a little bit sloppy at the back. The players have switched off Newcastle's defenders because they think Bramble is going to deal with it. And when he doesn't, it's a formality for him.
Any mitigation through the conditions?
Well, there obviously will be, but it's sat up at him. But what I'm saying is, a foot on it, rather than a wild swing at it, might have been the best thing.
Now Lauren's going to get... maybe just a ticking off like O'Brien did just now. Philip Don, incidentally, the head of Premiership referees, is here tonight. Ljungberg. Wiltor. I think Keith Stroud, the official, gave himself just a little bit of thinking time.
I think it was offside. But that again, that was Aaron Hughes just giving it a ball away needlessly. Patrick Vieira's obviously got a problem, more than we think. They're not taking any chances, Arsene Wenger. So I would think some, maybe a strain, Martin. Looked like the thigh was being worked on, so it might just a little strain, a little pull.
Certainly the conditions where that can happen, just overstretch. And it's another early exit for Vieira, but this time through injury. Edu is on. Robert. He's sliding in straight away. Vieira will, through suspension, miss the match here against the Chelsea in October. It's broken back the way of Newcastle, and they are level with Laurent Robert.
They might have scored it, but Kieran Dyer plays such a huge part in this goal. With a little bit of luck, it has to be said. It's a tap-in for Robert, but it's thanks to his teammates on the far side of the pitch that I was able to do that. Dyer plays a big part in this, man. They work it out of there quite well. Watch Dan now get involved. They get a bit lucky here. This is a poor ball in. Dyer's right on it right away, so quick. And that is, thank you very much, little tap in, wraps his foot round it. Yeah, that's a lovely ball across, but full marks to Robert. He's alive, he's alert for anything that might be played there. Well, it's looked unlikely. Newcastle are level.
You're looking at a fellow who's actually scored his first league goal of the season, but his fourth goal in his last 6 games against Arsenal. So if you were looking for a form horse here for a Newcastle scorer, this would be the fella. Of course, also got himself red carded after he'd equalised up at St James's Park against the Gunners in February. Bit of an altercation with Dennis Bergkamp. They've been under the cosh a bit, Newcastle, but with their first attempt, they've equalised here.
Well, 100% record for Newcastle, look at that. Well, they've been good away from home, he said. 2 goals in each of their away games in the Premiership this season. Another one tonight.
There's a manager who's stuck by Laurent Robert, who's not an easy player to predict how he will contribute. He's got bags of talent, doesn't always harness that to application. He's also been critical, even though Robson has stuck by him. He's actually been critical on his own personal website of the Newcastle manager. He's been reprimanded by the Newcastle chairman for that. I gather the website's being closed down because it's a source of trouble to the player. Anyway, he's got something to write about at the moment, Laurent Robert. He scored at Highbury. Bellamy, who's also got a bit of a Highbury history as well.
He's not short of things to say, is he, Craig Bellamy? I think he wasn't too enamoured with the way Edu went to ground. I think that was his gripe. And then Gilberto got involved in it.
He's obviously mastering the language, Gilberto. That time, Craig Bellamy seemed to keep his mouth shut and let the referee sort it out, which is a sensible policy. And now the flag is up for offside. Was sent off here, but that decision was rescinded in the 3-1 Newcastle win 2 years ago, which, as I mentioned earlier, did feature a goal from Laurent Robert and a penalty won by him. Shearer going for this one. Toure matched him in the air that time. Genus. Long ball from O'Brien. He's there again, the Republic of Ireland international. He's showing too much of it to Gilberto. There's a break on for Arsenal here. Will talk. Goalkeeper come off. Olivier Bernard, a deflection.
Honestly, Martin, do you know if Will Todd had had a little look, Shea Gibbons, right on the edge of his 18-yard box as the ball arrived up.
Got to think about his positioning again, the Newcastle goalkeeper, because here come Arsenal again with Gilberto. Doesn't get as far as given because Bramble steps in. Dyer. Albert's broken from the left-hand side again, and it's his touch. Bellamy.
First touch is so important, paramount tonight because of the conditions. If you don't get it right, it just goes away from you. That's why both teams are giving it away, making mistakes, because the first touch hasn't been good enough at times.
Pascal Sigon was making his first tackle of the season over there, and he's not playing, but he is warming up. And we're right on top of him, the players, for a moment. Lauren, half an hour gone. Arsenal 1, Newcastle United 1. Friday night football from the Barclaycard Premiership. It's a good way to start the weekend from a neutral perspective. It's a game that demands constant attention. Shearer's done well against Toure. It's that 3 out of 4 for the skipper.
I said, you know, he's not daft. Shearer, he knows. And he said, oh, I mean, it's not always going to happen because in free play, Alan's got to move about, things like that. But when it's set like it was and it's coming along from the goalkeeper, I just expect Alan just to trot over to Toure and Shea Gibbon and knock it down that channel, really.
I also think Alan Shearer's had a chance to send a message to Bobby Robson here because the 34-year-old has been left out, Gary Speed, and I know Gary, he'll be absolutely livid about that decision. He wants to play all the time. Might have been a tight call with, where is Gary? Might have been a tight call as far as Alan Shearer was concerned as well.
I would like to have a little bet. There was absolutely no chance unless injured that Mr. Shearer didn't play tonight.
Well, I'll have a bet with you that he might be rotated at some point during the course of this season. We'll see.
But not in September.
This is Dyer. Of course, as the scorer of all their away goals up to now in the Premiership, he could have quoted that as an indication for playing.
Has their only scorer in the Premiership up till tonight. Oh, done, Lauren Robert. Someone else can soar apart from that man in the picture. 5 out of 5 for Newcastle. And only 5 Premiership goals up until that one.
It's Robert's extravagant corner. It was heavily overcooked. Switch on the player cam now to Craig Bellamy. All the controversy, you know, about him going off to play with Wales, club versus country, a lot of public statements from both camps. It's actually worked out well for Newcastle, the football that he got.
Yeah,
he just played the one game, didn't he? Because he was suspended for the second match. Sunday, Premiership Plus, Channel 433 for Sky Digital viewers. Charlton against Liverpool, you can see that live. Liverpool in very good form now. And Super Sunday, Manchester City against Spurs. How will David Pleat fare in the Premiership after a great result under his caretaker management at Coventry in the Carling Cup? Sky Sports 1 at 3. A little bit. It's a bit chilly with all that rain pouring down. We're just spared from that a little further back from the touchline in our commentary position. And it is
it's not the only
very
thing
wet,
it's raining, is it? It was raining wet as well.
Maybe the alarm bells are ringing here for Arsenal because it's Bellamy on the break. Chip in the cross. Lindbergh was having a bit of a discussion with the assistant. Mike Riley determined to make sure his colleague was being treated with respect. Warren treats the cross with respect. It's a corner against Arsenal.
Well, it's a more even game. The goal will certainly help Newcastle, as you would expect. Not quite been as dominated as they were early in the match. They do. Thumping. That's what you call a clearing header from a corner. You know, that's almost on the halfway line, out of play. Great stuff. No chance of pressure coming straight back at you before you're organised.
Shearer. It's on the chest. And trying to trick Kieran Dyer. But he hasn't been able to do that. Ball has gone out there, and it is an Arsenal throw. Of course, there is a great scenario here for Arsenal. If they win, they're guaranteed, whatever happens over the weekend elsewhere, to be top of the Premiership. I think in the old days, you'd probably get a weekend off and a report to travel to Moscow on Monday, but I don't think that's always the Arsene Wenger way. Here's a Bernard. He's got plenty behind that. It's a snappy shot on his supposed weaker side from the Newcastle left back.
I thought it was squeezing under the goalkeeper there, Mark, for a minute. The ball sort of disappeared as he lands on top of this layman, but got down quick, got the body right behind it. That's the key. Had he not done so, it might well have scrummed through.
Henry. Put it under pressure. You can hear from the Arsenal fans, they thought that pressure was illegal, but the referee didn't see it that way, and here comes Dyer. Goal has done wonders for Newcastle. Curtis Bramble trying to make amends for his part in the Arsenal goal.
I'm not sure why the free kick's given. That linesman over the far side obviously saw something, signalled to Mike Riley. Too much air in that one.
It's obviously a straightforward position because he often punches, but the slippery ball comfortably. Offside, not against Henry, I don't think. Wiltor wasn't going for the ball. Talk about the goal doing wonders for Newcastle.
Well, we can see that in the action areas in only the last 10 minutes of the match, but only 5% been asked to defend in that. Which is the best place for them to play, because they haven't looked tight themselves at the back, Newcastle. They looked a little shaky, and they're playing in the middle.
Ashley Cole wins Arsenal a throw. Arsenal beaten Everton here 2-1, Aston Villa 2-0. But they were poor against Portsmouth. They were very good on the day. 1-1 draw, and it was a contentious penalty. Got Arsenal the point.
Just grabbing at the shirt they do there. Had him under good pressure, Jermaine Genius as well.
Shearer's perplexed by that. Riley grabbed hold of his own shirt to suggest that Shearer is doing a bit of grabbing in terms of the opposition. Henry, where he's getting the ball, though. Another indication of a swing in the barometer here.
Trouble with him is he can still score from there, Mark. Well, that's a close one. I'll tell you why this one's a close one. Because Thierry Henry there, you see, is indicating that Aaron Hughes was about 10 yards deeper than any other defender when this ball's played. Now, who's it played for? Look at Aaron Hughes. It's very close. He's probably just off, but when you get deeper than that, And it does ask the question. Gilberto's thinking, well, if you hadn't run in there, I might not have been offside, which he wouldn't have been. The ball was definitely played towards Wiltor, but it was close.
Shearer, that's the one just behind Bellamy. Swept out by Lauren. Bernard. We talk about the top six attacking for Newcastle. Olivier Bernard's got one or two attacking bones in his body, so to speak. He had a good shot, so making himself available down the left-hand side.
They're showing what they are, Mark, tonight, Newcastle. I think a team, when they get the ball, they can threaten and they can harm you. But when they don't have it, a little bit suspect at the back.
Oh yeah. There's O'Brien. It was a bit late on Aaron Hughes, but Newcastle kept possession. Hughes kept his balance. "40 minutes of two halves. Arsenal began very brightly. Obviously some points to prove here. Wanting to show the world the calibre of their football, not the fierceness of their tempers. They got a goal to show for it, but then they let one in, and changed Newcastle's attitude and gave them a huge injection of confidence. O'Brien. Beating Bellamy.
We'll test the goalkeeper. They've tested the most talented of people on the ground. That bouncing, pacey ball back to him.
Bowyer. Shearer's touch. Bowyer's made a good run into the middle. He's jumping for it, beaten by Keown. And he's left a bit of space, Lee Bowyer, by that move forward. Dyer tried to plug the gap. Henry, good spot by Bramble. Edu. Ljungberg screaming for it. He's got Cole outside him. Back to Ljungberg from Cole. Gilberto. Parlour. On one to Lauren. Just too high for Freddie Ljungberg. Newcastle ignored Lauren. Rather at their peril.
Super ball in. Just get a little ahead of it, all players.
This is Gilberto. Ljungberg. Gilberto on the burst. Another chance to cross it here. Wiltor.
He's had a couple, Wiltor, hasn't he? A couple little half chances he hasn't quite taken. Well, that's got to do with the conditions. Gilberto does brilliantly here for him. Really wants a little 1-2, little give and go. It looks like he's going to thrash it across, but it has a little look. Here you go, he says, play that one in. And it ain't a very good attempt. Rather throws the right leg at this Sylvain Wiltor. And Andy O'Brien gets a bit lucky. This could have gone anywhere. He smashes it off Wiltor. It really could have gone anywhere.
Maybe he needs a bit of luck like that, Wiltor. He hasn't scored a Premiership goal at home since November. Of course, he scored 3 this season all away. Ones too. An equaliser at Manchester City, a couple to wrap it up at Middlesbrough. Hughes, eyes darting, players darting as well for him. It's the Newcastle way in attack. Some 90 seconds plus added time to half-time at Highbury. Bowyer.
both managers will be happy at different times in this match, Martin. Obviously, Arsene Wenger, the start his team made, they were bright, they looked dangerous, they got the breakthrough. Disappointment was they didn't hold it for more than 7.5 minutes or so. But since then, Bobby Robson would be delighted with the way he's here. I think Newcastle played really well since he went a goal behind, and that would really please their manager.
His coach, John Carver, alongside him. Dyer. It's a good question as to what Kieran Dyer's best position is. Arsenal looking to make some good ground on their right after Dyer had done it in his chosen role tonight for Newcastle. The chosen role for him by Bobby Robson. Remember him playing very well. I think on his England debut at right back.
Yeah.
This is Ori.
That's when you need a midfield player helping your centre-back. I know it sounds daft, but when the ball's played in like that, you know Henry's going to look to turn the centre-back. It nearly gets there, Genius, but that's what Henry needs. He only needs to turn you half a yard, and he's going to be pulling the trigger time and time again.
Ljungberg. Edu. Half-time. Arsene Wenger off to compose himself for his talk to players who saw their early rewards include a goal from Thierry Henry, but then they lost Patrick Vieira and lost an equaliser to Laurent Robert, and Newcastle certainly flourished from that point. And it's a second half that's hard to predict, but certainly one to look forward to. We reach half-time at 1-1.
Good half and a great football night as well. Peter Beardsley, Nigel Winterburn, George Graham are with us. One apiece at half-time. Henry put the Gunners in front. Lady who's famous in these parts, Elaine James. Did she enjoy that?
The UEFA Champions League. More big names, more big games than ever before. See Europe's most prestigious clubs, including coverage of Man United, Arsenal, Chelsea, Real Madrid, Celtic, Rangers, and the holders AC Milan. Sky Sports brings you the UEFA Champions League as you've never seen it. Tuesday and Wednesday on Sky Sports 2.
The Ford Fiesta dreams of showing you what it's made of.
Good night. Good morning.
Club World. More beds to more places, more often.
Who can bring beauty back to life? HP Digital Imaging Technology helps the National Gallery in London save the world's masterpieces. HP. Invent.
When you take out an open plan mortgage, you also qualify for a borrowing rate of just 4.5%. ideal if you want to make other important purchases. Call into your local Barclays or visit openplan.co.uk.
Meet the experts of PC World.
With our trained technicians, we can help in so many ways. Detailed advice. It could be a number of things. Solving problems. Data transfer, saving everything from one hard disk onto another. Upgrades, we can actually fit them here. Our technician training is Microsoft and Intel accredited.
She's very clued up.
A world expert in chocolate.
I heard I can use network.
Step into any PC World and there's an expert here to help.
PC World.
We're on. Time to get messy. Stylish. Sexy. Spectacular. Johnny Depp does it again. He's as good as it gets.
This is supposed to be the big dance number.
Can you dig it?
I can dig it.
Once upon a time in Mexico.
Hey, hey, hey! This one's going out to all the little lovers. Blenheim fruit, original crush with the little ladies, and you know say it's us. Pineapple and grapefruit, come follow us. Move to the beat and get with the crush. Lady, crush me, crush me. We are the little ladies. Crush me, just don't rush me. Lights Massive and Crew. Move to the beat and get with the crush.
If you're a business customer who's tired of getting through to a recorded message, you should switch. Because with O2 Best for Business, you'll only ever talk to a person. See what you can do. O2.
Reebok, outperform.
The Hitman is back in the ring tomorrow night, defending his WBU light welterweight title. It's live on Sky Sports 1 tomorrow at 8. Championship boxing. One apiece here. Henry had Arsenal in front. Robert equalised for Newcastle United, who have had the lion's share of it since then. Peter Beardsley, Nigel Winterburn and George Graham are with us. Are you pleased?
Yeah, very pleased with you. I think after the first 20 minutes at 1-0, we were really under pressure, but the fact that Vieira has gone off has made a big difference to us.
So it's one of those nights, Nigel, defender's nightmare, isn't it? Is that what happened to Bramble?
Yeah, I think what happened there is Arsenal have worked the ball wide very well. So the ball whipped in along the ground, and Titus Bramble just hasn't attacked the ball, and he's just stuck his foot out. Before he knows, it's flicked off the top of his foot to Terry Henry at the back post. Simple goal, but yeah, it's a slippery night, and it's a nightmare for defenders. Whip the ball in low. He's just let the ball bounce. You have to go and attack it and stop it bouncing.
Stop it bouncing.
Stop it
deal
bouncing.
with it.
The weight of the ball will just, if you get there before it bounces, the weight of the ball, you just have to put your foot in the way and knock it out for a corner or a throw-in.
It's a rare goal inside the 6-yard box for Thierry Henry.
Yeah, but as Nigel said there, Bramble actually, Richard, should have just side-footed it with his left foot. Instead of that, he actually swung, to try to get power. You don't need power when the ball's coming at that pace. You just put your side of your foot to it and just hook it away with your left foot.
Vieira leaving the pitch, how much of a factor?
I think very much, but I was very suspicious of Newcastle's midfield before the game, but full credit to them. They have passed the ball as well as Arsenal have tonight, and especially as Peter says there, Arsenal dominating the first 20 minutes, getting chances or half chances, and then for Newcastle to come back and arguably outpass Arsenal, they've done exceptionally well.
That's where they got a little bit of fortune, but they made it work for them, didn't they?
Very much so. But Bobby will be delighted at half-time. The way they've showed, the football they've played after being 1-0 down, he'll be delighted.
What does that do to your belief, Peter?
Yeah, it's a big bonus, because as I say, after the first 20 minutes we were really under pressure, and they were cutting through us at will, really. They had a couple of decent chances, and then to get Robert in the centre of the box like that for a tap-in, Bobby will be really pleased.
So what have Arsenal got to do to find some momentum again, Nigel?
They've got to start dominating midfield again, start getting the ball wide. I mean, it's probably the most, 3 times I've seen them stick the ball in from wide positions. It's probably the most I've seen them do it all season. And I think on a night like tonight, they've got to keep doing that and get some more players into the box.
It doesn't make a difference to the playing surface, does it? But is it a night that you would enjoy playing in? Driving rain, slippy surface?
It's good for tackling and sliding in, but also a nightmare if you get balls coming into the box regularly.
So 1 apiece at Highbury between Arsenal and Newcastle United. It is after 8 o'clock, that's the watershed, so I suppose we can share that sort of thing. Second half is up next.
One of you will own everything you see around you. And the winner is North Stand, row F, seat number 61.
With every ending, there's a new beginning. Dream Team starts 8 o'clock this Sky One Sunday.
What's going on?
Hurry up!
Let's go, come on!
What the hell's he doing?
Boss in Motion. Fragrance from Hugo Boss.
Every winter, to escape the cold, they fly south where the climate's warmer. Unlike them, you can stay nice and warm right here at home. Vaillant have been setting new standards in heating systems in Europe for over 125 years. Their new generation high-efficiency boilers are so economical they use up to 35% less energy, helping you save on your gas bills. Call Vaillant now and look forward to a warm home year in, year out.
Strongbow. Get refreshed.
Thank you.
No problem.
Yeah, I really liked it. Couldn't put it down.
Thanks very much. Hiya. You all right? There you go.
One new message.
Hi, Jim. Sales are up. Over to you.
Business changes rapidly, which is why HP ProLiant servers with high-performance Intel Xeon processors can be remotely managed from anywhere. So wherever you are, it's like taking your data center with you. Demand more. Demand HP ProLiant servers.
The world is one big address book with all your best friends' names in it. It reminds you of your Uncle Roger, who's taking full advantage of his retirement. And with half-price tax on our latest price plans, now is good. Vodafone. How are you?
Yes!
Who are you people? You're in the middle of a war between vampires and werewolves.
When the battle begins, which side will you choose? Underworld.
Oh, yes. Can't believe I've just tried to head a rugby ball.
Oh. Get away from me.
Nice.
We'll be landing under fire, gentlemen.
We are cut off. Copy, we are cut off.
Men will die.
Tomorrow at 9 and 10 on Sky Movies.
Top Geordie. I wonder if he thought Newcastle United were 5-1 to win at Highbury tonight. All the football that matters on Sky Sports this season. The pay-per-view game this weekend comes from the Valley. It's Charlton against Liverpool, channel 433 for details on how to order that. Sunday at 1:30 that starts. And Super Sunday takes us back to Manchester this week to see City play Tottenham. It's a 3 o'clock start as usual on Sky Sports 1. Thigh strain, incidentally, for Patrick Vieira, in case you've just joined us and wondered why he had been taken off. George, just a point here, would that be a big disappointment for Arsenal?
Yes, I mean, I think privately they'll be expecting to win tonight. But if I was Bobby Robson, I'd be saying get the ball out to the right flank as much as possible. Let Dyer, go at Ashley Cole. They're getting a lot of joy down that right side, and that's where the goals come from as well.
Without being too critical of Freddie, Nigel, we haven't seen a lot of him just yet, have we?
No, he's been very disappointing this season. I think he's had a lot of injuries last season, and I don't think he's hit the heights that he's had in previous seasons yet.
Alan Shearer, remember, 1 goal short of 250 in the top league. Do you fancy him for it?
Wouldn't be a surprise, on a slippery conditions like this, you could get a penalty or anything, but Alan will certainly fancy his chances. Coming towards the end of the first half, Newcastle were quite in control.
Can't keep relying on penalties though, can he?
No. Hey, he won't complain. If it's he's 250, he'll be more than happy.
Which way do you, if it were to be one now, Nigel, which way would you fancy it to go?
Well, I think first of all, Arsenal need to get back into the game by winning the midfield battle. If they can do that, I think they can go on to win the game. But Newcastle have surprised me. They've come back really, really strong after a disappointing start, and we're all looking to see what will happen in the second half.
Strange that, George, isn't it? I mean, I know Vieira's gone, but it is an area that you had some concerns about for Newcastle, and the longer the half went, the happier they seemed. Why was that?
Maybe because they're playing away from home, Richard. They're undefeated away from home, and they've surprised me with the confidence that they've really been on the ball, and they're actually passing it as confidently as Arsenal are.
It's one apiece. Commentators Andy Gray and Martin Tyler.
Thank you, Richard. Obviously, the loss of Patrick Vieira affects Arsenal tonight, but a thigh strain that suggests that he won't be going east for the Champions League fixture in Moscow. Captain for this second half, Martin Keown. Arsenal and Newcastle have been playing each other for 110 years now, because this was the very first fixture between these two clubs, was the first league game for either club, and it finished 2-2. I wouldn't be too surprised if that happened here. It was certainly the first half accurately reflected on the scoreline. Arsenal started well, Newcastle finished well, and they want to carry on from that. Shearer going for this one with Keown. Ljungberg. Perez still kept waiting. He was ineffective here against Inter, Perez, and didn't take part. Left out on Sunday at Old Trafford.
I think if Arsenal don't get a goal, Martin, we'll definitely see Robert Perez. I don't think there's a doubt about that. I mean, I never worried too much about Newcastle's quartet of midfield players if I thought they were going to get the ball. I think they're all good enough footballers in their own right, and as a unit, that if they had the ball, they could harm Arsenal. I worried about them going the other way defensively. In actual fact, Yunus and Dyer, Boyer, I would say those three rather than Laurent Robert. Their discipline's been pretty good at times defensively.
Here's Robert trying to show some defensive discipline himself, and the barrier to Lauren producing an accurate pass. That was done up as O'Brien headed it away. Perez hasn't had the call as yet. He's going to feel a bit of a limbering up there, though, with Jeremy Aliadier, the young striker who's also on the bench tonight, with That berth vacated by Dennis Bergkamp, who was in the team. Of course, Wiltor moved up from substitute to start, so we needed another striker, and that was a 20-year-old. Francis Jeffers, of course, has gone on loan to Everton.
Well, I think he's won his fair share of them, Alan Shearer, tonight, Martin. And as of yet, no one has gotten the end of any. But what they did have, it pleased Bobby Robson, there was 3 black and white shirts going in the back of Alan Shearer. Taking a little chance, taking a gamble.
He gets his head to it again, and the piece of Toure as well. Toure is definitely shaken up by that. Henry. Ljungberg. Dyer immediately back to try and stop Ljungberg stretching away. James made his challenge as well.
So that was out of the way myself, I have to say. James has complained, I thought it was right. Definitely came off Freddie Ljungberg. I think the problem that they've got as well is that, you know, you look at Arsenal's central 2 midfield players, Martin, you know, and it wouldn't frighten the life out of you, you know, and I think that's what might just give them a boost. You know, Edu, Gilberto, I know Gilberto's a World Cup winner, but, you know, when you take Vieira out of there and put those 2 in, good players that they are, they're no Patrick Vieira.
Just on cue to your comment, the midfield give the ball away. Dyer. Here's O'Brien. In front of Shearer this time, Edu. And Gilberto, the Brazilian pairing in the centre of Arsenal's midfield. It's Parler's ball. So given comes out with some very neat footwork. Goalkeepers Union doing extremely well in their outfield skills, as Paul Robinson showed for Leeds United in midweek. Did you see that? I know you've been away, Andy. Have you seen his goal yet? A near post header.
I saw it. Mr. Keys has been telling me all day about it, saying it was as good as I've scored, which I couldn't quite believe it. It must have been a good one.
Certainly had a great time. Slipping out of the competition, slipping to the ground. Here is O'Brien, and it's Wiltor to Ljungberg.
Missed it.
Off the post. No one following in for Arsenal. There was a little bit of bend on it, but not quite enough. And here comes Bellamy. There's reflection on that, and it's a Newcastle corner only seconds after they could have gone 2-1 down.
This is why you've got to be careful when you play the ball around at the back, Mark, because this is just, they've got the control of the ball and then they make a stupid mistake. Always looked for me, I said it's not in, he's missed it as soon as he hit it. Never looked like it was going in, that's as near as it was going to get, the face of the post. Did the right thing, I felt. Just didn't set it on line. Real chance for Freddie. And short of goals this season, as well. Lads are talking about the studio hadn't quite burst onto the scene this season.
And I think that was reflected in his celebrations. The one goal that he has got, the winner at Manchester City, he disappeared into the crowd, got booked for it. Silverberg helps Arsenal defend here. Obviously still reflecting on what happened at the other end.
And otherwise a problem with Toure, Mark. You mentioned got knocked or someone, but certainly Pascal Segan is ready to come on, and I don't think that's a substitution you'd be making tactically.
Lauren. Gilberto. Wiltor. Here's Henry. It's Ashley Cole who's limping and in pronounced fashion. Gilberto. Lauren. Low from Parler. Randall got it away behind, and Ashley Cole is making his way off. It's another Arsenal injury. Been plenty of talk this season about not the quality in their squad, but the lack of quantity.
Well, I'm actually staggered the amount of players that Arsene Wenger's let go on loan, Martin. I think that was the thing that surprised me.
The suggestion is, Andy, that there have been some cuts to help balance the books because of the extra money needed for the ground. Might be false economy, that.
Totally false economy.
Well, Sven-Göran Eriksson will be concerned about Ashley Cole's injury. Turkey away, not far away. Will Tour. Free kick to Newcastle. Here's left-sided Seagull.
Yeah, he won't have problems sliding along the left-hand side. You wouldn't want to change anything else of your defence, move someone else out the middle. That would be wrong, I think.
First time in action in the senior side since that game away at Bolton, the Reebok, which was fundamental to where Arsenal finished on the table.
The one thing I don't think he is, Martin, is as quick as Ashley Cole. So it would be interesting if Bobby Robson, having the change we made, can say, let's try and get the ball a bit more. But the second half started a bit like the first. Arsenal a little bit better than Newcastle. And it's whether Newcastle can see this little spell off.
Laurie. Parlour. Laurie trying to provide the inspiration that at the moment Arsenal need. Held here in their last home game by Portsmouth in the Premiership, the defeat by Inter. All the shenanigans at Old Trafford that should say that they were gritty in that game.
Well, I don't know how good the conversation between the two is, but it would be Edu for me to hit this and get people following in. Make the goalkeeper save it. It's wet. We've seen that already. Simple one that Lehmann dropped first half. Follow it in.
Edu whacks it over the bar.
It's cheap, that, isn't it? Well, he's had the one chance tonight, and a good one. You can see what he tries to do, but we're right behind this, and goalkeeper stays big, which he does well, but it never looked like going into it, and it just bends enough to hit the face of the post. He's only 6 inches out, Freddie Ljungberg, but he'll be disappointed with all the goal, and he knew what he was going to do early. I think he made up his mind, this is going to be chipped, so he didn't really need to think about it.
Less than 6 inches, really.
Yeah. Inside of the post, it would have gone in.
Yeah. O'Brien. Keogh. On the scoreline, 0-0 as far as yellow cards are concerned in passing.
Well, it's refreshing on a night like this, and you expect people to miss time tackles.
As they judge that part of the evening very well, referee Riley. First time ball from Aaron Hughes on the lengthy side.
It's not going out, man. How kind of switched off. Luckily for Arsenal, not Lauren.
Parlour. Oh, he makes a run. Bramble. Struggling to shrug him off. Flip to Ljungberg. Plenty of numbers there for Newcastle. It's an anticipated pass. Well read by Edu, actually. Bowley's ball. Riley blows against Bellamy. I feel that for players on both sides, it's been a real effort to keep their emotions under check. There's been very few flamboyant reactions. Decisions have gone against players. Robert. Alan Robert again. They will put crosses in Newcastle United. They've got Alan Shearer in the centre. His 350th Premiership game, incidentally. 226 of the 249 goals have come in his previous 349 games since the leagues were revamped in 1992. And he was signed for Blackburn Rovers from Southampton, for whom he scored a hat-trick in his first full 90 minutes in the top division. As a teenager, just another Shearer record, incidentally, back in 1988. Seagull. Edu.
Oh, that's great pressure. Newcastle got reward for first Shearer, then Dyer. Went to press people that a lot of teams wouldn't have done so. Won possession back high up the pitch. And they've given it away. That's been a feature of the second half for me. And both teams are a little guilty of giving it away a little too easily.
Well, they certainly appreciated the thought from Andy O'Brien. To make sure he didn't kick it into Bellamy's run. Great done by Henry. Parler. Henry again. Stopped by O'Brien. Edu. Showing himself on the left-hand side, or the other left-back, Bernard, to deal with a ball that was dipping and swinging away from him. Lauren, Arsenal just trying to increase the tempo of this move. Gilberto. It's too high for Henry.
It's a little overcooked, isn't it? What they're facing, Arsenal, is a team a bit like themselves in respect that, if they absorb the pressure, Newcastle, they have got fantastic pace in the midfield area and up front to break with, Martin. And that is a worry. That's what Arsenal do so well when they're under the cosh. They break away so quickly. But with Dyer, with Genius, Boyer, Bellamy, Robert, they've all got pace right across the pitch. They can break on at any team at any time. But they've got to keep it tight at the back. And I'm never so sure looking at this Newcastle United quartet at the moment whether they're going to do that.
And if they are feeling any effects from Wednesday night, maybe this is a time it might kick in. But Shearer's making a nuisance of himself. Robert, whose talent was tested there by the height of the ball as it arrived at him. But here's Wiltor. Henry sprinting into the centre. Wiltor looking for Parler's run though, and it's Bramble who breaks it up, and it's not just clearance as it turns out. It was a pass to Robert, and the flag goes up, and that game, what is it, sort of 21 months ago, something like that, had this feel to it, didn't it? It was 1-1, and then Newcastle broke to devastating effect relatively late on.
I think that's what they're hoping to do, there's no doubt about that. But as I've said, they've just got to keep it tight at the back. They've defended better, I would have to say, since Arsenal scored their first goal. They've looked a little more comfortable.
Robert, they've got the equaliser. Edu's tackle on Bellamy. Now it's Arsenal's turn. Henry
had a look, the linesman,
by the flag.
Had a look, took his time. I think Aaron Hughes at times, he plays right back, Martin, but he has a tendency, even when the ball's on the other side, to get himself around a little too far.
Of course, one of the problems about bringing Pires on, even at half-time, was that one substitute had already been used in the first half. There's been a second injury, but here we are with half an hour to go.
Well, with one to go, he's got to bring him on, isn't he? I don't think that's a decision that surprised anyone.
Given. Had some beatings here. He's conceded now, 17 goals in 7 visits with Newcastle to Highbury. Bellamy knew he would be offside if he went for it. And now he can be involved from Robert's pass. Genius. Dyer tucking in. Toure very tight on Shearer, and he needed to be.
And they were actually working the ball really well. I don't think the ball through was meant for Shearer. I think they were trying to find Bellamy's run. Unlucky.
Here's Bernard. Robert slightly at it tonight. We've pointed out a couple of times in the past games where he's been less than effective. It from Bernard and gets it. Bowyer has just sat in there and done a good supporting job for the side. Genius trying to come up with the penetrating pass for Dyer. An effort maybe to expose any lack of rustiness by Seagull on the pitch, let alone at left back. Here's Pires. And it's Ray Parler who goes goes off, and they're not happy at Highbury about that. I was wondering, Andy, a few minutes ago, didn't say it, whether Parlour would get a job in the middle of midfield, where they have been struggling to really get on top of the game.
He might have done. I mean, he's very, very popular, as you can hear from the response. But I think Arsene Wenger has to make a change to win the game, Martin. And he's got to keep Freddie on. That's an absolute certainty, you would feel. You know, that chance he had, he almost took. So he's a match winner there. And so is Perez. And he had to make a decision. It was quite straightforward for me. It would either be Parlour or it would be Gilberto. And he's made the decision that it's free Parlour.
And sooner than the last sub comes on, and of course the player gets injured. I don't think it's a serious problem for Henry. Just got a bit of a bang in the face. Kieran Dyer being followed by the player cam for Sky Digital viewers. Red button on the remote. And he was a match winner at Manchester City.
Yeah, late on. 70-odd minutes, wasn't it?
Whereas in his way was the match saver against Portsmouth. A way that's produced big waves of criticism. If Arsenal were to draw here tonight, or worse, they would expect to be overtaken as the rest of the Premiership programme unfolds over the weekend.
I think one of the most dangerous things for Newcastle, we have to look at them as they're the away team tonight. One of the dangerous things might be when they finally think, listen, we've drawn the sting. You know, this is it. We can win this game, and just a little lapse in concentration from anyone at the back, one of the back four, and one of the midfield players, and it could be very, very fatal. There's too many Arsenal players can win a game for Bobby Robson's team to relax in any shape or form.
There are plenty of Newcastle players who can win the game for Sir Bobby. Bobby Robson got his first away point as Newcastle's manager here in his first season at the club, from 4 years ago now. He'd take a point tonight, and he's still in with a chance of 3.
Well, I'm just saying, he might be sitting there thinking, yeah, I would have taken this, but the way the game is shaping up, they're not being bombarded. Freddie Ljungberg's chance, I think the only one that I can remember Arsenal really having second half, it wasn't a chance that really you could say they created on their own.
Perez. Gilberto was complaining about Shearer's jump.
Been a little late on Shearer, I have to say, a little bit of sympathy. That's a poor header from Bernal.
And it's Gilberto's ball to Ljungberg. Complaining that he did get the ball, but we are going to see Mike Riley's yellow card. Angle of the challenge.
Well, it's coming from behind. He's saying he's scissored him really, but I don't think that's the case. I mean, the first one was a bad enough touch. He just tried to win the ball with his right leg. I knew it was too good to be true. I was just about to say, can we get to the end of this game without a yellow card? This is the answer, no. But to be fair, the players have made it easy for the referee tonight, man.
Well, it is a proud profession, being a footballer, and it's taken a bit of a battering, the image from what happened at Old Trafford on Sunday. Not just for those involved, but it reflects on the others as well. Well, on a night of 2 injuries already, Gary Lewin has to deal with a third, the stricken Arsenal player, Freddie Ljungberg. Checking out that Achilles tendon.
I mean, you just wonder, I mean, I don't know about you, but you wonder why, you know, Arsene Wenger would think, I can do without Van Bronckhorst, I can do without Jeffers, and players like that.
Jermaine Pennant,
another one. I mean, it's it was a massive decision from the Arsenal manager. Whether it was his alone, as you say, we're not sure.
I don't think it was, but here's Perez. And it's Gilberto! Arsenal lead for a second time tonight. And Gilberto gets his first Highbury goal.
Well, there'll be one or two fingers getting pointed about this Arsenal and Newcastle's back line, because he gets a free header. He comes round the back. He gets in on Jermaine Genius, I think it is, Martin. He just muscles him out the way with his run, and he finds himself plumb in the middle of goal. I don't think he heads it very well. I think it probably goes off his shoulder.
Yeah.
But you can see Genius, he's behind him half a yard. He doesn't get there. Well, maybe this is a bit of luck that Arsenal needed. He misses it with his head. It hits him on the left shoulder and flies past the goalkeeper.
Still a quarter of the game to go. The league leaders lead 2-1 here. And they can extend their margin at the top to 4 points. And it would be a relaxing weekend for Arsene Wenger if that was the case.
Well, Freddie Ljungberg's still getting treatment. Still a problem with him. It looks like he might be coming back on. But I have to give Gilberto 10 out of 10 for his movement, Martin. It was excellent. Jermaine Genius couldn't track it, couldn't keep up with it. So maybe he deserved his little bit of good fortune that he had. And he's struggling, I tell you. He's got that right ankle heavily strapped up.
Immediately fouled again.
I'm not so sure there was such a lot in that one. The way Freddie is, though, man, any little touch, he's going to go over, because he looks in quite a bit of discomfort, as you can see.
Robert just tapping the wrist there to advise the referee about any using up of time illegally by Arsenal. Well, the mood has changed at Highbury. It's been a bad week for the club, all that they've had to deal with. The adverse publicity, the questioning of Arsene Wenger's managerial methods, even in fundamental questions that have been asked. One way to hit back is to get the right result on the pitch. It's teased back in by Seagar. That's Wiltor, and it's sped through on the bounce to Shay Given, who dealt with it confidently, it must be said, and then is a bit unlucky with the throw, which was right on the mark.
Wonderful technique from Wiltor. And this is not a bread and butter normal save, because this one really skips off the wet surface. It's got a bit of spin on it, but he watched it right into his hand, Shay Given.
Yes, that was a little clip for the coaching annals for goalkeepers.
Well, Bobby Robson about to make a change, Mark. There's some activity across on the far side.
Gilberto, Perez. Wiltor's gone to the right, and Ljungberg's just going to... Is he going to...
Well, he's not going to do anything.
The front.
I mean, I don't know whether he thinks he might be able to run it off and have an effect on the game. We used to stick players like that in the old days when there's no substitution wide.
Norway taken from him by Bernard.
He's trying his best to run it off for Ljungberg, but there might be a problem there, Martin. And the problem Arsene Wenger's got now is, does he risk keeping him on and risk losing him for 4 or 5 weeks when he might be back in 10 days if he gets him off now and the treatment started?
Dyer. That's Bernard!
Oh, what a goal.
2-2 at Highbury. Olivier Bernard.
You said he's good at attacking. You said first half he might provide the extra momentum. And my goodness, what a moment he's just had in this football match. That's a fantastic slid ball through to him. Totally honest, they worked the ball so well, but watch the ball that slid through to him here, Martin. His run is a great run, but the ball is just inch perfect. And I mean inch perfect, because if it isn't, Martin Keown's getting a block on this. And it's the pace it takes it past the goalkeeper. And Kieran Dyer, for the second time in the match, is provider.
They're going to make the change now that they were getting ready at 2-1 down. Gary Speed is coming on at 2-2. in place of Lee Bowyer. So the Premiership's most senior citizen in terms of appearances takes his tally to 382.
Yeah, I wonder what Arsene Wenger feels like, Martin. He saw his side lose the lead after only 7.5 minutes first half. It was even less this time, 4 minutes between the goals.
Well, George Graham has spelt it out before on television, in the newspapers. The art of defending isn't what it was. His teams used to hang on to leads. Maybe the game's changed a little bit. Certainly, perhaps, in what defenders are allowed to get away with these days. The calibre of attackers as well. And I include Olivier Bernard in that, an attacking left-back. And we talked about Ashley Cole and his qualities in that respect. That was... well, in Cole's territory, it was a fantastic goal from the Newcastle left-back. More attention for Ljungberg. Was it last season Bernard got the winner against Chelsea? Scored at Manchester United as well, although that I think was a flukier affair, but he scored here at Highbury. He's a man for the big occasion, obviously. And it's 2-2 in an away game involving Newcastle again.
For the third time.
Here's Shearer, but they're not settling for that. Fisted away by Lehmann. Collected beautifully by Robert. There's a Newcastle player down. Good block by Wiltor.
Yeah, there was a big clash there. On the edge of the 6-yard box, Martin Keown. Oh, another one struggling, isn't Martin? Goodness me. Arsene Wenger must think, goodness me, what is going on here? Freddie struggling, Martin Keown does not want to stay down. And Bellamy flattening the area. It's a great ball in from Shearer. He's one of the best crossers of a ball. But out comes Lehmann and punches it away. He's got his eyes on the ball, no blame on the goalkeeper there. He just happened to make contact. Well, Freddie Ljungberg's hopped on and hobbling about, and that's, I don't know whether he's going to contribute much tonight, Martin.
Right, now Gilberto, who was so elated that he'd given Arsenal the lead again.
Well, just watch his movement. You see Jermaine Genius with him, but he never gets in a position to mark him. Misses it with the head. The left shoulder's pretty powerful. But 4 minutes later, look at that for a ball. Great run and a smashing finish. I mean, that's top corner from Olivier Bernard. Great response from Bobby Robson's side.
Martin Keown has limped off. And we'll hobble back on here. I do need to see Sol Campbell back at this club soon.
I think it will be soon, Matt.
Yeah. With all the respect to his personal difficulties. We started even with Alan Shearer being followed by the player cam. To be looking to finish the game that way, as Shearer looks to finish it with another goal for Newcastle, and it would be a landmark if it came for him. Here's Gary Speed for Bernard. Not the sort of team to rest on their laurels, Newcastle United.
They don't have the players, Mark, to sit on a 2-2.
Dyer. Perez penalised. Little handshake, just to be noted tonight.
I put one more on the wall. I don't think the keeper's happy with just one in front of Laurent Robert. I think if Robert sees this, I think he'll smash it straight at the goalkeeper. And by doing that, Newcastle need to get players going along his line of vision.
Laurent smashes it. Laurent Robert smashes it, and it flew this way and that, and ended up well wide of the far post.
Yeah, it didn't quite have the control I expected, did it? He rather thrashed at it.
Well, this is Darren Ambrose, who scored for Newcastle in his St James's Park debut against Breda on Wednesday night. He actually played in the Premiership for the first time at Highbury in his Ipswich days, the back end of their relegation season. Gilberto. Wiltor. Pires.
Well, I know they haven't got 10 men, Arsenal, but they might as well be down to 10 with Freddie's movement. Freddie Youngberg's not really doing a lot. But this is a side to beat Everton opening day of the season with 10 men.
Yes, they are more practiced than most for a variety of reasons, playing 10 against 11. And at least Youngberg will get into the penalty area, and he has got goal-getting instincts. Bramble battering into Seagull.
I thought it looked a pretty good tackle from where I'm sitting. Looks to come across and play the ball straight out of play. There you go.
It's a free kick though to Arsenal. Well, they've got 2-1 in front from a set piece. Given it's a deep ball that he was attracted to. Needed to get a touch in the end, and did. Arsenal lining up on the edge of the area. The outswinger from Pires.
Handball, was it?
Penalty.
What a couple of moments for Jermaine Jenas. Well, I thought it was a handball. I said it right away. The only thing I don't know was he pushed?
Well, they think he was.
Up he goes. No, he wasn't. Now, that's a penalty.
It's a suicidal moment, isn't it?
I thought it was a penalty. I said right away, handball. They're saying he was pushed. Was he saying he didn't touch it? I certainly thought he touched it, Martin. Oh, Bobby Robson will be absolutely livid.
Well, he's been involved in 2 set plays that have troubled Bobby Robson's team. Gilberto got away from him to head Arsenal 2-1, and now a handball called against him. Henry, who missed his last penalty, of course, but doesn't miss this one. Impudently done. And Arsenal, for the 3rd time tonight, lead at Highbury.
Who said there's a lack of confidence around Highbury at the moment? Certainly not with him. Certainly not with him. He's unbelievably disappointed. Arsene Wenger has jumped out his dugout there, pumping his fist at his team. Watches the goalkeeper. How cool do you want to be? How cool do you want to be? Looks great when it happens, doesn't it? The goalkeeper goes. They're furious with the referee, but I think the referee was right. I think it's a penalty. I always say when your arms go that high above your head and you flick the ball as he did, then you give him the penalty away.
Henry has missed half a dozen penalties for Arsenal, but only one of them in the Premiership. And in the league, he's spot on again at a critical time. Off goes Robert, to be replaced by Darren Ambrose.
Well, can they do it for a 3rd time of asking? Come from behind. Took them 7 minutes first at 1-0, 4 minutes at 2-1.
Speed. Interception by Edu. This is showing Arsenal in so much a better light than last Sunday's. Full of character. Great application. They're dealing with a lot of adversity here. They're effectively playing with 10 men. They've already had 2 other starters substituted through injury. And this is Arsenal made of the right stuff. But Dyer has troubled them throughout. It's a bit impetuous by Gilberto. Incidentally, has never been booked in the Premiership. Never been booked in the Premiership. He's been here, what, a year and 6 weeks.
Well, he might have got booked there if he'd have caught him, that's for sure.
with the free kick. Shearer, strong as ever, and knocking it back into the danger area.
Oh, what a chance.
It wouldn't have counted for Ambrose.
Tell you what, that must have been close. Yeah, they've got out well. Look at that, that's great.
Now George Graham would be pleased with that.
He'd be clapping his hands, wouldn't he? Yeah, but it's games like this that shape seasons, Martin, that shape championships, influence championships. And Arsenal, if they want to win it back again, have to do this, and they've been great tonight in that respect. They haven't played flowing, silky, wonderful football too often tonight, but they've dug in, they've dug deep. You know, they've scored twice from crosses, more or less. Got a penalty from another one. And they've had to dig in and show some character, and show some passion in the right way.
Perez, just blocking and keeping the ball well away from the Arsenal goal. 7 minutes to go. On Sunday, Charlton against Liverpool, Premiership Plus, 1:30. 3 o'clock, it's Manchester City. So going well in the Premiership this season against Tottenham, who aren't. That's cost the manager the job. North London story tonight is shaping up heroically for Arsenal. The job isn't done yet. They need all their mental strength here, because Newcastle still can hurt them from all parts of the pitch. They've got bags of attacking options, already got 2 goals at Highbury. But Alan Shearer hasn't had a chance yet. If he gets one tonight, Arsenal might be denied the win. They really might as well take Freddie Ljungberg.
Yeah, they might. The only thing I'd say is they might be doing more damage to it. That would be your worry.
Again, Shearer knocks it down. And it's behind Bellamy. Perez, found by Edu. Slips Bramble, and not O'Brien. Seaguy there.
How do you mean Genius would like to find a pass or a strike at goal, Martin, to bring his side level?
It's Dyer who's found the passes. Yeah. And Genius who's been troubled in his own penalty area. Bernard, whose wonderful goal might not count for anything in the end. Speed. There's Toure, but he can only scrape it as far as Dyer. But it's good work by Wiltor. No offside flag against Henry. He's got to wait.
Yeah, take a free kick over there or anything just to eat into the clock a bit.
Wiltor's the 3rd different player, is he, to play on the right of midfield for Arsenal tonight. Palmer taken off. Ljungberg was switched across there. He's just hobbling around the centre circle at the moment. Inside the last 5 minutes. Genius. Speed. Nicely done to Bernard. It's a cut out by Lauren.
I think they need a player to take the ball for a run. It's certainly Thierry Henry at the moment. She has to ease the pressure a little because it's just coming straight back far too often.
This is Ambrose. Dummy from Bellamy. Shearer. Genius. Now Dyer. Using Shearer as a decoy in the end. Hughes was well forward there as well. They're taking risks here. Newcastle, they have to do that. Time is on Arsenal's side. Gilberto.
Go for a run, son, that's what I would say.
No one making a forward movement for Arsenal, so that's exactly what Henry is doing. He's hoping maybe to win a corner at the end of it.
But he had to do that, Mark. I mean, you know, sometimes you can't always get the support. This is a situation exactly that. Certainly been a game that's been open for them. First couple of minutes to the last.
Dyer. Speed. Shearer just coming from the right-hand side. Running through the middle. Shearer's left some space that Hughes is trying to fill, but it was a poor ball to him, and Seagull was able to stride across and intercept. Pires with a bit of keep ball now. Henry, but he's still getting air back in his lungs from that late burst down the left-hand side. Just not making himself available at all, Henry. Ljungberg doesn't want to.
This one play you don't pass it to Freddie, isn't it, at the moment?
Just emphasises the handicap that he's playing under.
This would be a massive boost for Arsenal if they could see this out. It really would be, Mark.
Goes Dyer. Torre took a chance. He could have played it out. It's a bit of a miss kick by Seagull. Speed. It's just too high for Shearer.
Another substitution. Just trying to get as many attackers on, Bobby, as he can. Well, they're going to argue it, but as soon as it came across, I said handball. Because he goes up early and the hand goes up after it. He makes contact with the ball. Certainly I thought he did. So did the referee. And that's a beautifully cool finish. Look at that. There's only 10 players in the box, so.
Wow. I can remember there was an incident in that Asia Cup where he missed a penalty in the final, and not too many of his teammates. It's in the shootout. It was a rather casual effort, and gave Chelsea the trophy, took it away from Newcastle back in July, and not too many of his teammates wanted to talk to him that night. He might be doing a little bit of the same here. He seemed to have an explanation there that he was trying to pass across as to what happened.
Well, the ball needs to go in, Mark. We're into the last minute of this football match. They had a couple of chances from better positions than Titus Brambles tried it from.
Pires. There's a runner from midfield, but there's a trip on Pires by Gary Speed. Just what Robert Pires wanted. And it will help Arsenal run down the clock.
Well, you'd expect a less experienced player to maybe do that, but Gary Speed. The time board's going to be interesting. Added time coming up. Well, now into stoppage time. Looks like 3 to me. 3 it is.
Newcastle's throw. Can they find a third goal in the 3 minutes that remain? Or will Arsenal's third be a cause for great jubilation here? There is a spare man. It's Pires who made himself that. Henry. And it's another giveaway from Seagull. There's been rather too many of those for Arsenal's liking since he came on as a left back. Speed. Seagull again. Henry just tucking it to Edu. Ball had gone out. It's a surprise to Henry and maybe to us as well. First of the 3 minutes is gone. Speed. Bramble's gone up. Bernard on the ball. And towards Titus Bramble.
Not too much. Not enough angle on the ball. Alan Shearer's pulled onto Kolo Toure. A little bit more angle on it. So Olivier Bernard would have been the best thing. It was a little too straight. And that's been the case in the last 5 minutes of the game. Playing the ball in all right, Newcastle, but maybe from the wrong areas, the wrong angles. Well, it's a dangerous thing to say, I know that, even only a minute left, but it looks like Arsenal are going to see it out. Done a lot of good things in the game, Newcastle United, man, but haven't defended well enough.
Shearer. Amiobi, and let's just get these Keown out of the way. Been a seesaw ride for the emotions of Sir Bobby Robson. The man 50 years younger than the manager. Has perhaps betrayed his youth again here. He is a very, very promising young footballer. It's not been a second half to go into his scrapbook. Shearer, that's a good touch because Amiobi's fighting for it. It might be Newcastle's last attack. Seagan gets a tackle in. Great cheers around Highbury. Speed. Lauren can let it run, and that just might be that. Everyone here looking at referee Riley. They believe the job is done. It is. From histrionics at Old Trafford to heroics at Highbury, it's all in a week's work for Arsenal. Jermaine Jean has conceded the penalty from which Thierry Henry won the game for Arsenal. His second goal of a night of fluctuating fortunes. Newcastle hit back twice through Robert and Bernard. Gilberto gave Arsenal one of their leads. Shearer didn't get his goal. Arsenal will remain top whatever happens elsewhere over the weekend. They've extended their lead to 4 points. Newcastle beaten again. So the timing of the fixture perhaps didn't help them, but there was no sign of fatigue really. They were right in the game to the very last. But it's a much, much happier Arsenal, and it's a win in the right manner. Plenty of guts, but it's defeat again for Newcastle. They've been beaten at Highbury by 3 goals to 2.
Good game, very, very good game. Peter Beardsley, Nigel Winterburn, George Graham are with us. All the reaction when we come back. Was it or wasn't it? Well, Mike Riley gave it, and Arsenal have won by 3 goals to 2.
The best Sky One Sunday ever kicks off at 6:30 with an all-new
Newcastle United, but like Wolves, they're still waiting for their first win of the season. Wolves try again at Bolton tomorrow. Tottenham make up those in the drop zone. Borough, Leeds, Everton, Charlton, Leicester, Bolton, Villa at the bottom end. Whatever else happens this weekend, Arsenal will stay top. 4 points now the gap between themselves and Chelsea and Manchester United, who both have 13. And Chelsea, of course, have played a game less. We'll hear from Thierry Henry in a moment, but gentlemen, was it a penalty or was it not a penalty? Peter?
Yeah, definitely a penalty, Richard. He just got caught on the wrong side, Jermaine Genius, and for some reason seemed fit to put his hands up.
Was he pushed? He said he was pushed.
I would say definitely not. I would like to try and defend him, but no, he definitely wasn't pushed. He's on the wrong side, and he uses Seagan, and just for some reason puts his arm up.
Well, that's the Geordie view. Do we have a view from Arsenal that differs from that?
Well, I can't see how he's pushed because there's no player by him apart from Seagan who is looking at the ball. So for me, it's a definite penalty, no excuses.
What is his hand doing up there, George?
Well, first of all, he shouldn't be there, you know, Richard. When you actually jump for a ball, you actually get your arms wide, shoulder height to give you balance. And there's no reason why your hand should be above there. But I think
just to interrupt, what about the encroachment? Bearing in mind we have seen a number of penalties taken again for that this season.
Yeah, I think the lucky thing there was it was both teams, Richard. I think, you know, as a Newcastle person, I would like to make it take the game.
No.
But fantastic penalty.
Have a look again, Joe. I mean, we saw one in the Champions League last week that they made Real take again, and I mean,
it's everybody, isn't it?
But the offence,
Richard,
Richard, the offence is against Newcastle. That was the reason why they got the penalty. So you're not going to take the advantage away from the team that gets a penalty. So if there's lots of players go in there and he scores, you give it.
Well, they didn't win the Champions League last week, but for you were saying you were making the point about his arm and him being in there.
Yeah, there's no reason. When the corner kick before that, young Janice was supposed to be picking up Gilberto, and he actually let him go. And I think he was very, very nervous here, and he lost him easily.
So no doubts, no question.
No question about it.
Definitely not.
Penalty.
Definitely.
All right, Henri scored. Did you ever take a penalty like that, by the way? Did you ever have the courage to take
once or twice, but luckily I never missed. But fantastic. I mean, he's a great player, there's no doubt about that, and great skill.
Here he is with Jeff Shreves.
Thierry, after everything that's happened this week, how much did Arsenal need that result and that performance?
Well, even if nothing did happen in the week, we're here to play and to try to win games. And today I think, we started to play the game very well, and we were aggressive, really putting pressure on them, and we scored a deserved goal, I think. And once again we concede some goal that we can avoid to concede, and we put ourselves in a bit of trouble. But at the end of the day, I don't know if you saw, but Freddie couldn't play the last 20 minutes. We had to play at 10, and we still managed to get something out of the game, and that's the most important thing.
Having given the lead away twice, how much of a test of character was it?
Since the beginning of the season, we have a game like that, and that's why it's quite nice to see that even when we don't, control the game or play that well, we still can get something out of the game.
Huge pressure on you for the penalty. Cool as you like, though. Any other thoughts about how you might take it?
I don't know. I just thought that was the right thing to do today, and sometimes, as I said, you can miss penalty. I'm sure I will miss some again. I hope not, but it's going to happen. You can never be sure. But today I felt that's what I had to do, and I did it. It wasn't to be a bit cheeky. And as you know, I missed the last one that I took, so I just felt to do it like that.
After this, people will be talking about Arsenal for the right reasons. How important is that to you?
Oh, you can never, obviously. People likes to talk, and we're not only here to play the game. And today we showed that, we lost Patrick early in the game, and we had to play at 10 in the last 20. It's never easy against a Newcastle team who look really sharp. Kieran Dyer played so well tonight, and we just wanted, it was important for us to win today, no matter what.
No matter what happens over the weekend, you stay top. Is that pleasing?
Yeah, I think people forgot what was our position during the week.
Well done tonight. You are the Barclaycard man of the match.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
It's a fair point. They're still unbeaten. Some will accuse him of arrogance, I'm sure, but there was a supremely confident penalty taker today. Same question as Jeff put to Thierry, Nigel. How important was it to Arsenal to not just win but perform as well?
I think it was a massive performance for them, because I think not only are people looking at the Premiership tonight, the world are looking at Arsenal Football Club, and they wanted to put on a performance that everyone could talk about for the right reasons. Although, having said that, George, so Bobby Robson will go home disappointed, won't he?
Yeah, I don't think it was a great Arsenal performance, but I thought it was a great Arsenal win. You've finished up with the 10 men for the last, 20 minutes. There's been pressure on you all week. They've scored 3 goals, and they're still not anywhere near their best yet. So there's more to come, and I think that they would get a lot of satisfaction out of that game tonight.
Would it surprise you if they went unbeaten all season?
Yeah, it would surprise me, yeah.
I'm sorry. Newcastle United didn't help themselves, did they?
No, they didn't, Richie. When you look at the 3 goals, they were all avoidable, but I think Sir Bobby will be quite happy with the way they played generally. Created a couple of good chances, and I think overall probably deserved the draw.
It's a wild slash, wasn't it, from Titus Bramble that opened the door initially. As a defender, Nigel, you were saying half-time, step towards it, take a touch, don't let it bounce, is that right?
Just for me, on a slippery surface like this, when the ball is whipped in, the centre-half has to try and get to the ball before it bounces. Whether he can or not, it's his decision, but as soon as it bounces, it's off the top of his foot. A simple finish for Thierry Henry.
A simple finish?
Yeah, simple for him. He's never usually that close to the goal, is he?
You look at it, Richard, Bramble's just got to get his body in the way. Get all his body in the way, and if he miskicks it, it's going to hit another part of his body, and then obviously you can just deal with it.
But Newcastle, strangely, started to play after that, didn't they?
They did. I mean, at that time, just before the goal, they lost Vieira, who obviously is a big influence on their team, and Kieran Dyer started to get a bit of joy down the right-hand side, and really does well on a great pass from Bellamy there, and Robert's in a great position. When the ball's down the right-hand side, he's done brilliant to get in the centre of the goal there, and it's a tap-in.
A little bit of luck, but again, I think conditions played a part in that, didn't they?